All right, today is Easter,
Yeah, it is Easter, right?
April 4th,
It
2021.
is Easter.
Me and my dad just decided we wanted to make a few videos documenting our cigar smoking experiences together.
Yeah, I recently started getting interested in Cuban cigars. A few years ago, Tyler had brought home some New World cigars, Rocky Patel, Gurkhas, and we were smoking those together. And then a buddy of mine at work came in one day and he had some Cuban cigars. So, we bought this little box off him. And I just want to show this little box. This, needless to say, it's 100% not real. I mean, this is like a year or so ago. I just keep it now to think where I started with Cuban cigars. I'm sure you've all seen these. I think you got them in Tijuana or something like that. But since that time, I started buying uh, Cuban cigars online, well, exclusively through Cigar One. First, I started buying like the 3 packs of the Upmans, and then the Cristos, these types of tubos, and then I bought a box, and then I bought another box, then I bought another box, and then pretty soon I started. What was that guy's name? Dan,
From where?
the Cigar Salute guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. So we started watching this guy, Dan, on this. He has this features of Cigar Salute, and man, wow, it really enlightened me, and then set me on a proper path to the the unsecret world of Cuban cigars.
Right.
So now I've been buying these not limited edition but regional editions. Joya de Monterrey Elegantes. I got hooked up with this Facebook group um, where not only is it educational, but you uncover resources to get. It's like a progression, a little bit nicer cigar, more well aged cigar. Um, but today, for today's purposes, Tyler and I are going to smoke a couple of Cubans. I have this Ramon Alonis. It's a Robusto, specially selected. A nice oily wrapper, leathery, like cocoa smell, little pungent. It's a young cigar, not a lot of ammonia there, but you can tell it's young. And I think Tyler has what do you got there, Tyler? Partagas.
Personally, I was gonna smoke a Solomon barber pole from a local guy down the street. But my dad said that we should probably smoke some Cubans together today.
I think we should do the Cubans, and then the New Worlds, and then the regional world like Aldo,
Mm.
right? So we have it all documented, right? So like we could do one a Cuban, we do a Cuban show. We do like a Rocky Patel or Padrones or Javas,
Mm.
and then we'll do Aldos, right? We'll do by manufacturer or sort of
Similar type.
similar type.
Gotcha.
So we're smoking the similar type, so we can tell the 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 different nuances. So with for like from now, from when I first started smoking Cuban cigars to now, I could tell the difference significantly between the Cuban cigar and a New World cigar.
Mm.
But until you actually smoked, I probably smoked 15 to 20 Cubans now. So when I smoke a New World cigar, you're like, wow, this is not Cuban.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Mm.
But I think go to show the what you got there, Tyler. It's Partagas. That's a nice one. Super Partagas. It's
What size is it?
a petite Corona. It's 40 by 5.5. It's got a little over a year on that one. I got that one. I think it has a 2019 on the box, and I think I got this specially selected from the Facebook group. I want to say one of the administrators there um, was able to part with this, but it's quite the cigar. Well constructed, rock solid. I mean, there's a ton of tobacco in here. I mean, you can see that thing is full of tobacco. So, what do you say, Tyler? Let's light these up, huh?
What kind of cut are you gonna go for?
You know what? Because I have smoked a couple Cubans, I'm gonna go straight cut because sometimes the draw is a little tight. So I'm gonna go with the
straight cut.
With the straight.
I think I'm gonna go with the deep V.
Oh,
This guy's a little bit skinnier.
I'm a deep V guy too, but on those new worlds, it really increases the thing. Oh, look at that. That's perfect little, just perfect on the cap. Let's try the draw here. Yeah, it's got some draw. How's yours drawn?
It's a little tight.
It's a little tight.
Yeah, pretty tight.
Well, they're notoriously tight, but once they get going, they start loosening up. I'm pairing this with the Pepsi.
Got a sports lighter with a brief jet.
Oh, it's toasting real nice. Oh yeah, I love this lighter. Well, right away, a little grassy. It's strong real good. Put out some good smoke. How about yours?
Pretty mild.
Partagas? They're medium, mild to medium. And the fortunate thing, I think, because I've had one of those, it does transition when you get into the second and especially the last half. The last one I smoked though, when I got into the last half, I think, for lack of a better word, it had a lot of nicotine, like the nicotine.
Can you taste it?
Well,
or you feel it?
Yeah, you can feel it. You get a little buzzer, but also that flavor to me might be described differently to a more experienced Cuban guy, right? I hear a lot of pepper, but I don't. That might be translated as pepper. Uh, Sorry about that. There's a neighborhood kid on his mini bike zipping up and down the road there. We're in the backyard. We're we're coming to you from
live and direct from the backyard.
Yeah, here in California. Are we supposed to say what city we are? Yeah, we're in Fresno, California. It's about what, Tyler? It's about 80 today. Sun's drooping down.
Just catching the sunset. Good end of the day.
So on the retro there, and I can tell you with New World cigars, it's always a little stingy. It's not bad. It's not bad when you retro that. You know, I never retroed cigars before until I started smoking Cuban cigars. I guess it's a learned skill,
Right.
and I've
Some
been
people
able to.
can't even do it.
Yeah, some people can do it, so I tried it before, and I wasn't able to do it. It took a few times, but then I don't do it every time. Probably 3 to 4 times as I progress through the cigar.
Definitely not something to get used to.
But yeah, you could tell. Some guys I watch, they do the retro all the time, 100% retro.
That sounds a bit much.
Yours is burning fairly
Still good.
nice. The ash is nice and white. That little gray. That's a trademark of Cuban tobacco.
Pretty clean.
Salt and pepper, gray and white ash. I got a little, my burns just got a little one-sided, but I think
Yeah, you got the burn.
it'll work itself out.
Fairly clean.
Mm.
How's your
Yeah.
burning?
It's burning really good, and it's producing a lot of smoke. I'm starting to get it's that grassy right when you first light it up. It's gone, and it's settled into a nice. Uh, the aroma's great. It's got a little peppery, I would say spicy. I don't know if pepper is the right way to describe it, but it's a little spicy and a little cocoa, maybe nutmeg.
My mouth is still getting used to this one. Still trying to get my mouth coated. Get all the oils for flavor.
Oh yeah, it's really picking up now. It's giving me a nice mouth feel. Um, there's a little finish to it now. I could taste in the back now. Maybe that's the pepper that a lot of people talk about. So this cigar is really giving off some good flavors. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. It's the experience, right?
Right.
And you
Who
want
you share it with.
right who you share it with, and what the cigar offers, right? Um, Another funny story is when I watched that cigar salute, Dan, right? He had this one that he was talking about the do's and the don'ts, right? And one of the don'ts was don't become the de facto Cuban cigar guy at your work,
Oh yeah.
right? Well, that went out the door, right? The guy I work with. But I mean, he splits. He goes in on the box split, so it helps the expenses, And like sites like online sites, or the one I've been going to, and I've looked at Cuban Luz, I Havanas, Monte Fortuna. What was the other one? There's one more out. Oh, Puro Express, um, Friends of Habanos. Oh, uh, that reminds me. There's a auction site uh, called Bon Roberts that was created by the Friends of Habanos owner. I think his name's Isla Robert. It might be Robert. Anyway, I was bidding on stuff there, but it's like eBay, right? If you're not on it to the last second, you're gonna.
Right.
Well, I landed a box last night
Go.
for $105. Now it's called Mille Fleurs, right? Which means it means 1,000 flowers. They're Partagas. Very similar to a Super Partagas, except it's a little bit. It's got a 42 ring gauge, but it's from 2017. It's 4 years old. So it should be ready to go. Yeah, it should be ready to go. Now, this will be the first cigars I've had that have had more than, excuse me, a year of age on them. So I'm very curious to see how the difference is going to be now between a year-old cigar or a young cigar versus a 4-year-old cigar.
Cuban in particular.
Right? Well, we already know. I guess he's right. I guess Tyler makes a point, right? Um, the New World cigars are already aged.
Mm-hmm. They're real different, right?
Right?
The process different.
And some of them, I like the Opus X. I believe they're aged well over 5 years before they even get rolled. So I'm pretty sure that.
Explain to people that don't know the differences in the processes between New World cigar rolling and Cuban cigar
it's
rolling.
my because obviously
what your understanding is.
Yeah, since I've got for lack of a better word, it's just fascinated by the whole Cuban cigar industry. It's my understanding that the Cubans, it's obvious, it's a poor country, and agriculture, one of their biggest, what do you call it, Tyler? GDP, right? Gross
commodities.
Yeah, so they don't have the luxury of American-backed companies to sit on their tobacco, right, for just their regular production cigars for 5 years.
They don't have the luxury to do that. They need the money.
Right, they got to get paid. So you get a regular production cigar, right? You either got to smoke it in this first 90 days, or you got to let it sit a year, right? To vent out all these tannins and ammonias and stuff like that. I personally, mm, 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 wow, delicious. Wow, this thing is fabulous. I personally have not had an experience with the younger Cuban cigar. You know, I have. I did struggle, and believe this or not, with a Cohiba Siglo 2. I struggled with that cigar. You know.
No way.
Well, the draw was super tight, right? I mean, look at you said you got a little tight draw. Look at that ash. Whoa, there it went. Right, Tyler had about an inch and a half of ash there. I struggled with it, and then it had a lot of. It had a little when I got to the transition to the end, right through the first. I struggled through the first. I got some good performance out of it in the middle third or the second third, but then in the final third, wow, it was bitter. It was harsh. So I can say I didn't nub that one down, and I'm a nub guy. I mean, I'll smoke that all the way down. Now, so New World guys, New World cigar guys, your Rocky Patels, your AJ Fernandez, your Gurkhas, your Drew Estates, your Padrones. These guys are selecting tobaccos for their production run 5 years in advance, right? So those bales are being picked, fermented, and then aged, right? They're already fermented, then they're baled, and then they sit and ferment a second, third time in a barn somewhere in Central America until they actually, rehydrate and roll them into some other type of cigar. Now, Tyler and I are not very experienced, I would say, in boutique style cigars, but other than like for lack of a better word, so this guy, the Doomsayer, right? There's this Room 101. He had a cigar out called Doomslayer, and the Big Payback. Now, I guess it's the Big Payback. I guess these cigars are awesome. Now, this guy doesn't own cigar fields. He doesn't own a barn. He doesn't own a rolling factory. So I think these guys, these boutique guys, just contract out.
Yeah, select specific.
So even though you're getting a smaller boutique cigar, it's still with well-aged tobacco, right? And you're paying a premium. And that's another thing I noticed about Cuban cigars. I bought a this thing's really, it is fabulous. It's still got a little wonky to it. It's a little wonky, but it's burning. Look at the ash, as straight as can be. I'm gonna just let it try to work itself out. I'm not gonna touch it up yet. But I bought one of these the Stompadrone 1926 series 90 anniversary, maybe. I think it was his 90th anniversary for his dad, or his dad would have been 90. And you know, it was very underwhelming. You know, I got to admit, I think I paid $39 for that cigar, and it was not any better than any other New World cigar I had smoked. That was a $12, $13, $14, $15 cigar. Well, with that said, I personally, I save a little bit of money with Cuban cigars, even on the secondary market. They're not that expensive. I mean, unless you're a vintage reserve anniversary Cohiba Bahique chaser, you could get a really good cigar, a really good Cuban cigar for 10, 15 bucks a piece. Now, those are regular production cigars, right? And you know, if you have one like we're having one now, but you know, we got a box of those, we got a few more of these, and you sit on the other ones.
They add up. They stack them up.
Right.
You get a little collection.
Yeah. And we have a little collection problem. Why don't you tell them about our humidor problem?
So we picked up a couple of humidors from my boss, a couple of commercial humidors. How many cigars would you say they were?
I think you're like for 200 maybe 150.
Some boxes in there and some loose ones and some different mixes matches.
Well, you should tell them what you do. You're sort of in the tobacco industry, but not the traditional tobacco industry.
So I work at a head shop in town, of course. So obviously, I was already kind of in the business, and then I saw my boss had some commercial humidors laying around. Pretty,
like he used to sell cigars.
Yeah,
but now he's all into electronic.
Yeah, exactly.
Smoking and accessories. So the cigar thing fell off.
Yeah. So appears. I saw them collecting dust, so I said, "Hey, how much do you want for them?" So he said, "Give me $50." And at the time, I didn't know what I was going to do with what we would do with all that space for cigars. I just thought, oh shit, well, if we ever need room, we got it.
What are you doing? Well, we had a desktop humidor and some Bermuda bags,
and even a jar, one of the mason,
we had mason jars,
the jar ones, right?
But those were so we had to come up with a better solution. So
that was the solution, even though it was a bit overkill. We grew into it. Now that being said, we've grown out of those two humidors, and we're looking to purchase
a tower.
What is it? What's that called?
That's like a tower humidor.
Yeah, from my boss. It's about the size of a wardrobe. I could stand in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it probably holds 600 to 1,000 maybe. I don't know.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So we're trying to negotiate that right now. We priced out. I mean, 1,000 cigar humidors. Obviously, they're about $1,200. And some include the cigar oasis and some don't. But we're looking
To modify
yeah,
and modernize this one, at least get some sort of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi way to read the humidity levels and the temperature through our phones at least, and a system to kick on every so often to keep the air there circulated.
yeah. I have the mate to that one. So there's two. We got two of them. I have one in my office, and I've kind of modified it to where I put like a small processor cooling fan in it, and in my office, the bottom outlet, when there's no motion, it shuts off. So at the end of the day, that fan will shut off through the weekend, and then it kicks on when I get into the office. So the fan's circulating the air on and off. Now I did realize that too much of that air circulation dried out my cedar trays, so I kind of had to reseason them again because I lost a little bit of humidity. And I'm talking from like 66% down to 64%. I think the Cuban cigars do a little bit better, just a little bit less humidity. Um, my buddy just is in Hawaii right now, and he, who I split my coworker, we split a few boxes of these Cubans, and he took some to Hawaii with him, and he said he got to the golf course, he couldn't smoke them because they were too wet.
Really?
Yeah, he said he packed them too good, and I'm all like, well, there's a lot of humidity in Hawaii, I think.
That's it, yeah.
So I told him, hey, take it out and stick it in uh, some sort of box, some sort of humidity proof box where it
Like,
could dry out for a
like a paper bag would wick
yeah
it out.
yeah, so he could wick out some of it, so he could at least enjoy one while he's there in the Big Island.
What's he doing out there? Family or?
Yeah, family vacay. So they, airlines, I think, were basically um, giving away plane tickets.
Yeah, but then you gotta pay for the COVID test.
But they kind of were hoping things would lighten up
By
by the
they
time
got
he
up.
went, and sure enough, it did. They kind of opened up a little bit.
Nice.
So right now, I'm into my second third right now. It's starting to straighten out a little bit. The ash is still rock solid, hanging on there. It's about to drop. The cigars hasn't done anything spectacular since we lit it, so I'm hoping there'll be some transition there.
Honestly, since cutting and sparking this from the first draw to now, I thought that I would have more problem getting any smoke out of this because it was so tight of a draw. But no, I'm not having any troubles at all.
Well,
It's pretty
that's
shocking.
an experienced roller there, right? You know, it's a true
It shows.
art. It's a true art, right? And it's a true craftsperson that's rolled that. Because even though it feels so solid and
You
tight,
can tell there was still enough attention or care put in to where you can still breathe through it and hit it, you know?
yeah.
And that shows. That was kind of impressive.
But overall, though, Tyler, how's it? I
It's
mean, do you notice the
pretty.
difference between that and
I
a
would.
Rocky Patel or
I wouldn't say my palate is enough attuned to tobacco specifically to tell too much of that. But as far as my opinion of it, I would say that it's a nice medium body cigar. It's not offensive in any way. It's
mm,
not too peppery or too oily. I wouldn't mind eating, some meat right after this. It wouldn't overpower too much of what I would do after this. It's not offensive at all.
this thing is delicious? You know, I heard the guy that remember again. I'll go back to Deanna's Cigar Salute. He would be like, it's like a candy bar. That's what I'm getting right now. getting a lot of chocolate and cocoa, and it's like a little vanilla maybe.
I got a little bit of leather in the last one.
Mm. It is it's wonderful. I did a little retro there, not on purpose, by the way. It caught me off guard.
Pretty honking ass.
Yeah, that ash is, and you can see it straightened out a little bit more. It's not so wonky.
Solid construction.
I'll go ahead and give it a tap before I drop that on the keyboard there. So, me and my son, and I have another son, you'll meet him when we do another video. Uh, we've been talking about doing this channel for a while, and then I keep thinking, oh, we need this, or maybe we need that. So hopefully, um, we'll put this one together. We'll see how it turns out as far as the sound and all that goes. That's I guess our biggest concern right now, because there's nothing more frustrating than watching a video and you can barely hear what the guy's saying, and you turn your TV up, and then you forget you turned it up, and then he goes to the next video, and blam!
Right. So this is like a pilot or a trial run to see what we need to work on, or what, production wise.
Right. So we also have a little uh, insight into certain types of lifestyle amenities
Yes.
that we like to share. We do enjoy a few nicer things in life, and I have a little. I also vape a little bit, but mostly I enjoy smoking a cigar, and people enjoy cigars in different ways. And I like to just get one, put it in my mouth, maybe mow the yard, wash the car, just do some sort of meditation, and then let the cigar surprise me, right? Puff away and puff away, and then, man, the cigar will start transitioning and letting off a different flavor, a different smell, and I find I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And then right now, this isn't really having a lot of significant transitions, but I always do know when I start getting down into the last third,
Yeah.
Stuff really picks up. So I'm hoping that happens here.
What about midway through the second third? Now my palate's really kind of getting more used to it. I'm not feeling as much of the pepper anymore. It's easier to. I don't know how to explain that.
Acclimate.
Yeah, I'm more acclimated to the smoke now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get used to it again.
So right now I can taste a little bit of the youngness. I think I'm getting. I had a little finish, and it had maybe a little moony to it.
How much time is on that?
Right now I'm probably going in. I'm well over halfway through it.
Yeah, but when was it rolled?
Oh, this was rolled in late 2019. So a little over a year.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, a little over a year. So what? A year and 5 months. I think it was November, December of 2019. So yeah, about a year and 5 months, maybe. It's really, it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but just like when I took those real deep draws, and then gave me a lot of smoke, and then at the end there, after I exhaled, and then in the very finishing, a second later, I could taste a little in the back. I got a similar taste like that out of the super Partagas I had too when I got to the nub.
Yeah.
The Cohiba, a lot. So it's true what they say. But the Cohibas were in a 3-pack like this, like a 3-pack thing
Right, right.
in a tube. This is a Romeo, but so I think I'm gonna let it sit. I'm just gonna let those. I got 2 more left. I'm gonna let them sit. I would love to get a cabinet of 25 of those Siglo 2s.
Check up on them every now and again.
Yeah, but you know, you could get one through like Cigar One. You could get one, or I Havanas has them too. They're about mid threes, mid 300s, but they're always gone. They're sold out. You know, so even if I was gonna take the stretch,
Just getting your hands on one or
yeah,
find them.
well, I don't think I would like to smoke. I like to smoke the cigars, right? So in my mind, I'm like, can I smoke 25 Siglo 2s? And,
You'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I don't. Sure, there's a little bit of braggadocious that goes along with having a nice box of Cuban cigars, I'm sure. Um, Gives you a sense of pride. But I also, you know, I want to smoke that bad boy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
I remember when I got these fake ones. Let me show the camera with this. I'm sure if any of you've seen these, but here's a Boulevard. I don't think they made a edition 2020 though. I don't think so. And I knew something was funky too because they all look the same. All the colors, they all were the same color. R&J. And then the Pistol Resistance. And I actually lit this up. I put one in my mouth that was actually the Partagas one. It was actually the Partagas one. And I was mowing the yard. I got about a quarter of the way through it, right? The first inch of it, right? And I was like, wait, man, this ain't right. Like, so this is what a Partagas tastes like? And that was like my first official real Cuban, right? And I was like, this ain't right. I called Tyler, right? What'd you tell me? You told me to
Split it open
split
and
it
see
open
if
and
it's short
see
or
if
long
it's.
fill.
So yeah, I split that sucker open. It looked like a big Lucky Strike. It had cigarette tobacco in it. At least it appeared to be cigarette tobacco. Yeah, I didn't smoke it again. And the only reason I have 3 of these because I smoked one, and the other 2 my buddy bought. So I told him don't even bother. So we kind of hang on to them as a reminder, right?
But it's really not. It doesn't. I don't think it's that hard, or Cubans are that hard to get a hold of. It's really just a lack of knowledge of resources of how to get them, right?
Right.
That's what I've found
Right,
out.
and trusted resources.
That's even more
And
important.
that was the hardest part.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But like you were saying, you found some
I'm gonna,
reliable guys.
I'm gonna step away real quick. I think we're gonna need a light here in a minute. So let me.
So like I was saying, you found some help and some resources through YouTube, and people will help guide you and show you different outlets and routes you can go to acquire these cigars,
Yeah.
or even to tell the authenticity of them.
Right, mostly that. Right.
So there are helpful people in the community, and they'll help show you the way and help you not get ripped off, hopefully.
Well, I do know just the simple availability. Like you can go to some websites and they've got all kinds of availability on these high-end cigars. And once you understand how they manufacture and the production of the cigar and the rarity of certain kinds of cigars, there's no way that these vendors could have
If it
so
sounds
many.
too good to be
Right.
true, it usually
Right.
is.
So, but to the person that doesn't have that type of experience, they're going to throw money at it, and they may think they have the real thing, and who knows what they're smoking.
I would argue to say that even someone with a medium amount of amount of experience would even fall for that. the whole FOMO thing, right? The fear of
Right.
missing
Yeah.
out. Oh, I don't want to miss out on this deal. That
Mm.
even.
You're right. You're right. They'll send you emails saying certain, well, on reputable sites, yes, right, they'll have flash sale or whatever, but on some of these other sites, you know, you don't know where they're coming from, you don't know where they're manufactured, you don't know how they're stored.
And even if it is Cuban, or it could be some random floor sweepings or whatever.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Mm. So I'm getting into the last. Take the band off here. We're getting into the final third here.
Yeah, this one's getting real oily.
Yeah, it's starting to pick up. It's getting that full body. Trying to find
Seam in the band.
the seam here. Oh, it's just gonna slide off. There, it's just slid off. Mm. As you can see, this thing's burning great, great combustion, great burn.
Evened itself out, right?
Yeah, evened itself out. I've got 2 chunks of ashes here. It's really, it's really quite good. It's not too. Um, it's giving me a little spice on the tongue, nice and creamy. Everything's picked up. That chocolatey vanilla is gone now. It's more of a I don't want to say like a nutmeg but it's like maybe a cumin or a white pepper. I know it's crazy, but it's giving off that type of spice now.
Right.
I hear sometimes people talk about like baking spice or something, but this is definitely a little heat. Well, first, I'm double puffing, kind of smoking it like a degenerate.
I'm really enjoying it. Like, the deeper it gets, the more flavors build
Well,
up, the more oil.
I also like that if you look at Tyler's cigar and my cigar, his is obviously a demi Corona, but we're about the same spot, right? Mine's got a little thicker ring gauge, but
Personally, I prefer the skinnier, longer ones like Lanceros or anything like
Panatella.
that. I kind of like how they burn better. You get still a good burn. It's not gonna get too uneven. They keep up with themselves pretty well, and it doesn't get too hot or giant. Like if you have a big honking one like that towards the end, it's gonna get really warm.
Well, I think the advantage to the bigger ring gauge and the longer cigar is because the cherry, right? The smoke is cooling off as it travels down through the cigar.
Maybe that's why I prefer the skinnier one,
Right.
even cooler.
Right. But when you start getting down towards the end, when the smoke heats up, it starts getting a little bitter.
That's where this is picking up for sure.
But I think the trick is on the club style cigars is don't double puff when you get down to the end.
Club style referring to
The longer, thinner gauge. The Lancero's still a good sized gauge, but they've got like 30 gauge, 38 gauge. I think it's called I want to say Gloria. Gloria. Got this one that's, I think it's 36, maybe 38. The sucker's about 8 inches long. I saw them on the auction site. They're going for like $1,400 for the box.
how many?
25 box is 25. They're about 5 years old, 6 years old. It's not like they're,
It's a couple holes in the golf course.
Yeah. I do like a good cigar on a golf course too. Maybe 2. Yeah. So like a Robusto, and then maybe like a Tyler Smith, demi Corona or a Petite Corona. So you get do like 10 holes on the big one. Last night, you just move yourself to a smaller little guy, you get a couple in.
Do you have any finishing remarks before we close the video?
Well,
Since it's getting a little dark.
I do know that the Ramones specially selected is it's a quality cigar. It's really got a lot of flavor, especially now. I would say it's medium to full for sure. Burning straight, giving off a lot of different notes. It did have a nice transition. Very light in the first third, picked up in the second, and now it's really full bodied. I would say here in the last third.
As far as cigars goes, it's really unoffensive, easy smoke. It's not too light. It's not like I'm puffing air. It's very well constructed, a good draw, solid the whole time. Ashes, very dense. Um, as far as my first Cuban goes, that's pretty good. I wouldn't be able to tell personally too much difference at this point between Cubans and New World cigars, but this is a very enjoyable experience.
All right. Well, this is Brad, Tyler, father and son, saying thanks. And
Take care.
we'll make sure we have a lighting or we'll start earlier in the day. All right. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.